because I'm going to the East Coast, to Virginia, for my vacation. This is a hard video, but I just decided I'd go ahead and try to make this video now. So, what it is that why did my daughter die? How did she actually die? And the answer to that is that she died of a methadone overdose. And she was not a problem kid at all. She had a 3.5 grade point average. We got along great. I was teaching her programming and guitar this summer, and she was popular. And her sister was 18, and it turns out that her sister, some of you might remember, was ill a year and a half ago or so. Well, when that was over, she met a boy who turns out he was a methadone addict. I didn't know that. And then his parents wanted him to move out. They said there was no problem, that he was a good boy and everything, but you know, they just wanted him out of the nest, and he was kind of waiting around because he and my daughter were planning to move to California. And I thought, yeah, I can handle it. I had talked to him. I took a lot of consultation. And I'm like, I'd like to know this boy more than just, you know, hi there, Mr. Piro's daughter's father. And my older daughter got addicted to methadone. And we still don't know how, because they both say they weren't sharing it with her. And she's been through some intense therapy. And I'm thinking maybe it was him that shared it with her. So we still don't know exactly how, but I know she died of that. And one reason I couldn't talk about it, it's hard to talk about, obviously, but also it's just there's, you know, potentially illegal stuff going on. You know, and the drug dealer selling it to minors. Because he was just 18 and he'd been buying this for years. I was naive to this whole thing. But I found on this island that there are people with opiate addictions. You know, this summer I caught my older daughter drinking and stuff a couple times. And I was asking her about this other, because I'm like, you're too young to do this. But definitely don't get hooked into any of the pharmaceuticals or any of the opiates, because you can die specifically. And I was saying that as I put my daughter to bed, and she assured me, no. She was even acting hurt that I would suggest it. And the thing is, their mother is abusive. I think bipolar, but I don't know, but she throws fits. So the last time my younger daughter had seen her mother had been throwing some sort of a fit, and my daughter went to hug her and ask her to calm down. And she shoved my daughter away and slapped my daughter. And my daughter had enough, you know, and after that she's bringing donuts and gifts and trying to make nice. My daughter had just had enough, but she was dealing with that pretty good. And actually she was feeling really powerful. She was popular at school, she had good friends, things were going pretty good for her. And I think, you know, I taught my kids they could make their own decisions, and this is maybe one of the drawbacks that is. And maybe she thought she could do it, or maybe maybe the boyfriend, when she just, because you see, she was a good student, she never caused trouble, and furthermore, she was in this program where they did things like feed the homeless, and they would go to the beach, and they would do science trips, and they studied anti-drug stuff, you know. She knew, and I had told her, because I'm not very for drugs. I think super mild things are fine, but there's still, anytime you're going to escape. So why, if a kid that's no trouble is going to be experimenting with that stuff, why isn't some alcohol and pot? Why is that not enough? This is stress. It's abuse. That's, people are wondering what killed her. You know, I used to have a Tuesday night pool table, and my pool team would come over and we'd play some pool and music and drink some beer. Some people thought, oh, well, that's why. No, it's because she had a mother that caused her the stress. You know, those kinds of drugs aren't really that pleasing unless you have some stress. It can just turn right off. If you're not all twittery like a Twitter dog, it doesn't feel like, you know, it doesn't do that much. It did nothing for me when I had my brain surgery and I was on Vicodin for 6 months. It did nothing for me. I noticed the addiction, because at the end it's like, oh, it's time for my Vicodin, but I don't have pain. Okay, I don't need to, you know, and I didn't even use up all my Vicodin. because I wasn't stressed out. It didn't, that euphoric stuff they talk about. I'm pretty sure it's involved with stress. So that's the real reason. So we were really looking forward to going to California. Google had contacted me when I put my resume up. I applied to Tesla, and Google contacted me, and my first phone interview was scheduled for the day after my daughter died, it turned out. And I was in shock, and I was trying to make that, but luckily we rescheduled that, and I did really well in the phone interviews. And when I went over there, I cried the whole way. In the morning, I was freaked out. I wasn't liking the Bay Area. I was disoriented, and I couldn't prepare emotionally. On the other hand, they said I did so good in the phone interviews I could try again, because they have people that choke, I guess, for various reasons. And I don't know, because the idea was sort of sell out to help my daughter, have money for her, because I gave up the money so I could focus. I came over here 10 years ago, cut my career off because I knew it wasn't working. I thought I was going to help this woman that I had married, and it was helping, but it wasn't helping fast enough. So I thought I'd come over here with this support and not a job that sometimes wants me to work 100 hours a week. And then I was realizing, well, she's old enough. If I have to work late, she can handle it, and we'd be close to family. We'd have money to travel for family. And then when I got over there, I sort of had the other reaction that kept me from staying in that business. Now I don't know where I stand. I'd rather work on my own stuff. And as a matter of fact, I did. I've started an LLC, and I'm going to start having some products and servers, and not just this video stuff we have. There's a lot of technology that I can do. Supply that's already out there and stuff that I've written and can put together. And I'd rather like to start a new kind of business, So what I do, when I do start putting that out, you're going to be able to find who I am. So, I don't see any reason to just drop a bunch of names and numbers. But, it's already out there. A few people know my name and who I am anyway. But it's also relevant to some of the things we've been talking about. I work in science. For 10 years, I write software that scientists use to analyze data from instruments. I'm not a scientist, I'm a programmer. Actually a philosopher. Think like a philosopher, degree in philosophy. Just apply it to programming and science. I had a lot of science coursework. I was really interested when I went to college. I thought I might get a physics or math degree, but I didn't really ever want one. I thought I'd become a writer. But I just wanted to know how physics works, because I was already busy trying to create a philosophy that would be suitable for how the universe seems to reveal itself, or not to us. So it's a very painful thing. It's a shocking thing. It shocked the local community. It shocked the school kids. She was going to be a freshman in high school. I feel this is a really terrible thing because, she was being incredibly confident and blossoming and great in every way, and tons of activities and tons. So in a way, it's partly her strength. She just had this unearthly confidence, which again, I gave the kids, which is dangerous considering they're coming from this dysfunctional relationship that I had with their mother. I think, there's a lot of other reasons. It turns out that the kids around here, it's a little bit oppressed, like a lot of oppressed places, kind of ghettoized. And there is an opiate community, and the little kids are doing it as part of their experimentation, and it's all in their face. But when you look at, well, why would somebody make a mistake? And even if they're going to make the mistake and do it, how make such a big mistake? Well, I guess she thought she could play grown-up. She was about to go into high school, grown up with her sister. And her sister has a lot more problems with their mother. I had lots of friends that did worse than her sister, but she did give a lot of trouble and turmoil about things. She, I didn't get him. I sent immediately to rich person's rehab with the help of some family. And she's clean. And she's in a sober living house trying to get a job, get a life together. For a while, it looked like she was going to stay with that boy, but she didn't. So, yeah, that's the story.